management of resources is as important as the existence of that entrepreneur, the state, or any organization as a whole. And that is why on this show, we don't only dissect this economy, we don't only talk about profiling people, we also bring it down to ensuring that there is a way forward for countries of the world. Welcome to Eco Profiles. Of course, Eco Profiles is that show that we tend to showcase the best of the Nigerian business community and link it up to economies of the world. And I am Bella Kobe. The thrust of today is centered on Nigeria's economy. That's the threats of Nigeria's economy. Stay connected as we dissect. It's business. It's about profit, challenges, demand and supply, risk involved in different business lines. All about profiling of entrepreneurs in the Nigerian business community and how they contribute to the development of the economy. Eco Profiles, showcasing the Nigerian business community. Welcome back. This is still Eco Profiles, a show where we tend to showcase the best of Nigerian economy and then dissect with economies of the world. And today with me, I don't come alone as usual. And I have a guest with me, a high-profile personality. Let me give him the audience and let me give him the privilege, rather, for him to introduce himself. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Bella.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Evans Woherem, Dr. Evans Woherem, and I used to work for First Bank. I was an executive director with First Bank, and I also used to be a deputy managing director of First Interstate Bank before it became merged with the other banks that came together to merge into Unity Bank. Yeah. And at Unity Bank, I was a group executive director before I retired. So now I'm a retired person.
Retired but not tired.
I think so.
That was a nice profile, sir. So when you look at, based on this vast experience that you have, when you look at the country, when you look at Nigeria's economy, what do you have to say in respect to that?
When I look at the Nigerian economy objectively, I must say I am always filled with sadness. I'm filled with sadness because in the 60s, 70s, a lot of us were full of optimism because our country used to be there with countries like Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, even Brazil. So it was thought that we were going to be one of the biggest economies of the world. One would have thought that just like most of those countries are developed today, that our own economy is also going to be developed. But that has not been the case. And when you look at our economy today, you don't see any sense of seriousness with regards to issues to do with economic development. And to me, it's all about economic development. Most of what is happening today boils down to economic development.
That were set aside to ensure that the economy is growing or something. Is it that it's not that effective?
It's not effective at all.
So what can make it effective?
Our economy has been growing. At best, it grew about 7 point something. But now, in fact, last year it started growing negatively. Now we've got out, but then we're not even growing up to 1.5%. So it's growing, it's growing very, very slowly. But meanwhile, our population is growing at more than 3.6%.
Exactly, it's growing.
Do you get it? So that being the case, it means that our economy really is suffering. Now, in terms of what to do, there's a lot that can be, done. The question is, are all those things going to be done?
Because from time to time we've got persons, experts coming to talk about things to be done and all that. So where do we miss it? Where do we miss that synergy of actualizing these things to be
Let me tell a story,
Okay.
a little story, permit me.
Okay, sir.
The father of the behavioral school of psychology was a gentleman called B.F. Skinner.
Yeah.
B.F. Skinner at one fora was asked, "Sir, when are we going to have the behavioral science with which to solve all the problems of the world, the behavioral problems of the world?" And he knew that most of all those things were already there. So he told the person, said, it's like going to an agricultural scientist, an expert agricultural scientist, and asking him or her, when are we going to have the agricultural science with which to create a food revolution in the world? The agricultural scientists would say that those sciences are already there. It's just a question of countries making use of those findings. Similarly, with regard to our economy, all the things that needs to be done to get our economy going are already there. Most people out there know what needs to be done. But the problem is that because we introduce politics into it, because we introduce ethnicity into it, because we introduce regionality into it, as a result of that, we are not taking the growth of our economy very, very seriously.
I would like to strengthen that. The introduction of ethnicity, religiosity, and regionality has drawn our economy backward. So what I love that point, sir. So what can we do to take this thing out of the way? Because Nigeria needs to move forward. And the thing is, the younger generation will not be concerned about what you did that you did not do right, or where you failed. It's just like a child asking his father, he say, I need money to maybe buy a pen or something.
Yeah.
Okay, if the father cannot provide the pen, the child is not concerned about why you can't provide the pen.
Absolutely.
It's concerned about, I need this pen. So Nigeria need development. Nigeria needs to move forward. So what is the greatest threat to us right now?
I totally agree with you. Nigeria needs development because it's all about development at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, in ancient Greece, the Greeks, in terms of formulating the democracy ideas that the whole world is, talking about today, said there were 3 types of people.
Okay.
The idiots, the tribespeople, and citizens. We all need to be citizens.
So what
Idiots not because you are stupid, but idiots because you are selfish. The idiots think only about themselves. Do you get it? They can't think beyond themselves, what they can do for themselves, what benefits them. The tribal people can't go beyond what benefits their ethnic group or their religious group or other enclaves they belong to. But a citizen thinks for the whole Commonwealth. All of us, leaders and the led, we have to start thinking like citizens. We have to know that at the end of the day, it is Nigeria. God brought us all and put us in this place that is called Nigeria.
Together. So
we have to make sure that Nigeria works. So to me, it doesn't matter anymore what part I'm from. I don't have to, let's say, insist that whoever is from my own part of the country has to be the person that will lead the country. Because the person might not even if he's there, he's not going to do anything for me. Most of the time, if you even look at the history of Nigeria, he's not also going to do anything for Nigeria. And if that is the case, why do we insist on, choosing people that are only from our own, ethnic groups? That's particularist. We need universal principles to govern how we elect people, how we choose people for employment, and so on and so forth. So those are some of the things that needs to be done. Okay, of course, there are so many other things one can also, go on to talk about.
You go further, let's take a break there. Okay. Well, you've been watching Eco Profiles, a show where we tend to bring to you the best of the Nigerian business community. Now, Nigerian stock exchanges appreciated. So how should Nigeria play? Stay connected for these and more after this break. It's business. It's about profit, challenges, demand and supply, risk involved in different business lines. All about profiling of entrepreneurs in the Nigerian business community and how they contribute to the development of the economy. Eco Profiles, showcasing the Nigerian business community. Welcome back. So glad to know you're always with us on this show. Of course, this is Eco Profiles, a show where we tend to bring to you the best of the Nigerian business community. We don't just stop there. We also address issues that concerns economic activities in all over the world. Now, I have with me a gorgeous, distinguished guest, Mr. Evans.
Thank you very much.
So glad to have you on the show, sir. So before we went on break, we were talking about the threats of the threats of Nigeria economy. So would you like to further buttress that?
Yeah, the threat of our economy is painful to me because if we continue doing what we are doing without taking development seriously, invariably that will mean, as so many experts that have looked at it say, it will mean that at the end of the day, if we even continue in this manner, that in 500 years, Nigeria will not have become a developed country. Do you get it? So what that means, in effect, is that things will become even worse, for us.
And
so
the population is growing.
Yeah, the population is growing. So we are now in what is called a cumulative negative spiral, exactly, in which you have poor leadership, poor leaders make bad decisions, and as a result, of those bad decisions, or even good decisions that are not properly implemented.
Because I wanted to come in there because kudos to the government or the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They tried as much as possible to diversify the economy and coming out to strengthening the agricultural sector and other sectors of the economy. Because, obviously, we know that the prices of the oil is dwindling. Nigeria is no longer relying on only oil. So I think the government is trying in order to diversify the economy to further buttress that the economy should stand stronger. So what do you think to that, sir?
I agree with the government there. Nigeria should never have even concentrated solely on oil. There are not many countries out there. In fact, there's practically no country out there that has developed as a result of depending on just one, or even many other natural resources. Rather, it is only when they start developing through what they can do, through their hands and through their brains, that they become developed. Agriculture was something that we used to be very good at. We used to have all those, granite pyramids, palm, kernel, and cocoa, and so on and so forth, to international standards. Like if we continued, with them, and not only with production of all those things, but also being involved in all the value chains, we would have definitely done a lot better.
So what really killed our agricultural sector, if it's definitely it was blooming before, and by this time, from what you said, by this time, if we have continued in that realm, we would have been able to have come out of being an undeveloped country to a developed country. So what really went wrong there?
Unfortunately, oil came. And with the coming of oil and the oil boom in the world, Nigeria started having so many of what I will even call free money.